Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Drop In CEO podcast. Time it happens to be live. I'm Deb Coviello, and again, I am so grateful you've joined us where week after week, I love having conversations with you, sharing my insights with you, hopefully inspiring you. And just know I do this because I sincerely care about all of you out there, and many of you I have met, but I really, really care about the C suite leader of today, those who just want a seat at the table, and those who want to be those leaders of tomorrow. I just want to help you navigate challenges with confidence. And that is why I put this content out there, because I want to share the best that I have with you, but I also want to share some insights from others that I just gained today. And again, the power of the networking. I reach out to quality people, OPEX, CEOs of companies, because I just want to learn from them, understand their stories, and bring their insights and inspiration. But the reason why you maybe showed up today was because I promised you how to get your resume noticed and into the yes pile. So many leaders see themselves as a series of transactions versus positioning their message for their role that they seek and their value proposition. I know there's a lot of buzzwords in there, but I don't know if people have really talked to you about how to go into the yes versus the no. And I will tell you, there are cool technologies out there, whether it's AI, where either you upload your resume electronically and it starts searching for the right terms or keywords. If you don't make an impression in milliseconds or 10 seconds or less, you go into the no pile. And I don't want that to happen to you. And I know this for a fact, that anyone I have met, when I propose a few small changes to the resume, to the look and feel and messaging, it completely changes the perception of the resume. Remember, it is not about your technical content. Yes, I know you are amazing. You've done some great work. You've got a lot of things you want to share with them, but you're not your resume. You are not your resume. The purpose of your resume is to engage with another human or AI tool, but you want to engage with them. Yeah, you want good keywords in there, but the ultimate outcome is to get into the yes pile, not the no pile. When you think about the outcome versus just you and your resume and everything that you want to squeeze in there to communicate with somebody about all the experience that you have, it's a little bit short-sighted. You need to think about the other person on the other end, looking at hundreds and hundreds of applications. You need to stand out, and I'm going to share that with you. But before that, I want to share, an inspirational conversation I had. Again, I tell you, networking is like gold. You never know who you're going to meet. I have brought people on the podcast because of just such amazing people that they are, their stories, their leadership insights, and I learn from them along the way. And isn't that what we're here to do, to better ourselves or better the lives of other people? So networking, find a creative way to get your message out there, the 10-second elevator pitch, not the 30-second. And again, if you like this episode, please reach out to me. I have had this amazing episode that I've put out there called the anti-30-second elevator pitch, because it doesn't work. It doesn't work, even though people have been telling you about it. So if you have any questions about that, or look up a previous event I did, the anti-30-second elevator pitch is surely going to get you into the, I see somebody across the room over there. Excuse me. You want to be engaging. So before I get into my best tips and tricks, I was inspired by a quality leader mid-career, and we were just going back and forth and getting to know each other. And then at the tail end, as we were kind of closing it up, didn't want to take too much of his time, he said, how do I be a better leader? I just want to pick your brain a little bit. He's highly aware. He wants to make an impact. He's read things. He's educated, all of that. I said, how do I become a better leader? And so I was taken aback by this. Okay, great. I am going to share the best. So and he said something like this, and he said, I'm here and I want to be able to get to here. And I said, the first thing is, you made a big mistake. You saw yourself as here. You need to see yourself at the next level and just realize these are just humans like you. Start acting like your authentic leader at this level, not the other one. And so what I want to say to you is, think about Who do you want to be as a leader, not where you're at? You need to project yourself up. So again, see yourself at the next level. You will start acting and being and seeing as that leader. Number 2, use confident words. And I have done this presentation, I've done this podcast many, many times, but we need to use powerful words for influence. So I told him, I said, you need to use words like I propose, I believe, we need, I need, we must. Positive, confident words in our communications, because then you are seen as a strategic leader trying to pull the organization to a future state. And tip number 3, you have been compensated and rewarded for many, many years for being the first one to raise your hand, being the person that has the answer, being correct, and you've dotted your I's and crossed your T's. Well, things have to change. When you become a leader and thrown into situations, the best tool is to speak last. You need to listen to what everybody's saying. You need to ask thoughtful questions. And when all of this is done, step back and reframe what you heard, and then say, this is what I believe we need to do. It shows people you listened to them. It shows people that you had clarity on what the message was and what is the path forward. Speaking last or close to last, you become seen as the wise person in the room and that person at the next level. So I just wanted to share that with you. And again, I am full of insights and thoughts, but I was inspired by this conversation and being asked. But now I want to bring it back to what I wanted to say to you today, and I'll keep it short and sweet. You know, when I frame feedback or thoughts or insights, and again, I learned this from somebody from my past. I sincerely care about them. When you talk about feedback or sharing insights with somebody, so it's actionable and it's positive, I will use the context of what should you continue, what should you start, and what might you change in the spirit of getting your resume to the yes pile by connecting with a human. It's not everything you've done. So first of all, continue to have a big headline at the beginning of your resume. Make sure in a paragraph that you clearly have all the key words of what your capabilities are, your competency, and maybe where you're going. Okay? Get that up there, because what happens is if you try to put all the details interdispersed throughout your resume, can't you see from all of these accomplishments, I am a project manager? No, you have to be explicit. Get it in the headline, short, sweet, bolded, concise. Get it up there, because again, somebody's going through your resume really quick and you want to get their attention. What do you start doing? So many people put in their headline those keywords of what they've been doing. I managed this and I directed that. But if they want to be a VP or a CXO, you need to start using words like I am or will be or I want a C-suite level role. If you're looking to go up, you need to be explicit about the future of what you want to transpire when you meet with somebody and go for those opportunities. If you wish and are hoping to get to that next level by submitting your resume for a director level role and you happen to be a manager and all you're talking about is being a manager, I manage this and I manage that, that's all you're going to get. And you're going to go in the no pile. You need to use words like I directed teams and I directed the strategy and I set clear direction about X, Y, and Z. You will be seen, and those buzzwords will say, oh, okay, director, let me put them in the yes pile and I'll come back to them later. And finally, what do you want to change? Change. And what I mean by change is, it's not that it's good or bad, it's just change. We know you're an accomplished person, but what you might want to change is if you are on 2 or 3 pages of your resume, and these days, if you're experienced, it's probably going to be a 2-page resume or CV. You don't want to squeeze everything in there such that they need a magnifying glass or it's, come on. Be sensible. Do you really think somebody is going to read all those words and look for all the keywords to say, yes, that's the person? The outcome, because what happens is going to detract. They're going to put it in the no pile. They're going to put it in the maybe pile. And you know what? They'll never get back to it. They sense you're good. They just don't have time to consume all that content. When you do that, you're saying it's all about me. When you put your resume out there, it's all about the other person. I want to connect with you. I want to be somebody of interest. And so the outcome of that resume, again, it's got to be professional, it's got to be well formed, is you want to engage with somebody and get to the yes pile. You want to be interesting enough so that somebody says, "Ooh, I want to consider, let me take a second look." So you might want to peel back or change your resume to not have every single detail. Have somebody look at it and maybe take 3 or 4 bullets and distill it into one bullet, because what you want to do is get to the yes pile. You want to get that interview, and then that's where, when you're speaking human to human, you can just say, "I am a director of people, and let me give you some examples." Okay? You want to change that because, again, I get a resume like that. I know there's a human behind there. There's a really great person, but you're not going to engage me. And so that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about continue to use bullets, everything in the headline, just so that somebody can see what you stand for and what your value is. Start positioning it as if you are at the next level already, and people will see you as that. Even if you haven't done that role, you got to start believing and seeing yourself in that role, and then change your resume, your format, such that you might want to go a little bit minimal in order to be able to have the opportunity to go into the great detail because you got into the yes pile. And so there you have it. I wanted to get all of that out there because, again, what I said at the beginning, I want you to navigate these challenges with confidence because I don't want you to struggle trying to get that next opportunity. And I want to throw one more thing because I see this person, I just spoke to them, and I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody out there who has been listening to these shows and it resonated and you reached out to me for that 30-minute complimentary conversation. I also spoke to another person that, when they get in a mode, when they get into the interview process, they just want to download and share all of their experience. And what happens with that is you make it about yourself again. And what you need to do is make it about the other person. And maybe you don't know that much about the other person. And we get nervous and we just want to start speaking and saying what's ever on our mind. I might propose to you, yes, slow it down a little bit and just say, "Hey, I'm so grateful that you brought me into this interview because you got into the yes pile. But I just need to understand a little bit of context. Is this a new position? Am I filling a back role? And what do you see as a critical need for this role?" Well, when you slow it down and you turn it into a conversation and that person starts sharing with you bits of information and insight, you can then tailor your response to respond to those needs and curate specific details about your background that may be relevant. Then you control the conversation. And again, keyword conversation versus a regurgitation of your resume because you got into the yes pile. So I'm going to bring this to a close here. The reason why I do this, again, I care about you. I want to thank those that have reached out to me and said, "Deb, I want to talk to you just 15, 30 minutes. I care about you. I love getting to know about you. I love creating another person in my network or community. And I try to be of service in that brief moment or maybe even a follow-up conversation." That is the Drop-In CEO. I'm not just here to solve business issues. I'm investing time and energy in you, because I want you to be able to realize those rewards of the work that you do for others, for yourself, and ultimately spend more time doing the things you love outside of your career. Don't want you to struggle. So, thank you for dropping in on another episode of the Drop-In CEO podcast. Deb Coviello here. And so grateful you've joined me again for these conversations. If you've got a topic, I would love to entertain it. If you found this helpful, one other ask, please share it with at least one person who can benefit from these insights, because we're on this world a short amount of time. If we can lift humanity, lift at least one other person, we are, the human race will survive because of it. So anyway, I want to thank you again, and I just want to wish all of you well and much success, and thank you again.